Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play, cause y'all gon' make them money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on Congo.
American honor don't like no soldiers. For the spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers.
Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ and they image, hate you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the saint. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We live in bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the ISUPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, class was being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí
Forma da General Yahana na ISUPK.
This is what Commander General Yahana did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
All right, let's go ahead and clap it up. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakathum to the Akim. Yahweh Shemar Alathan Bahashem Yahweh Shah to the Akwathium. What? Risky content. Damn. Who'd have thought that having candles on TikTok Live would be risky content? Salagia, we're the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahana. We are not affiliated with any other Christian organizations, any Muslim mosques, Hindu temples, no other religious institution on the planet. If it's not under commanding General Yahana, it is not the truth. You understand? Since 1969, the ISUPK has been bringing out the truth of the Bible. And that truth is that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Most High's chosen people, man. We are, we are destroyed in this land because we've lost our identity. And in losing our identity, we've lost our culture. We've lost our essence. You understand? We've lost our morals. We've lost our values. And we need to understand that these morals and values and, these things, this identity has been stripped from us intentionally. This is by no accident. You understand that the oppressor has, taught us and demanded that we just assimilate into his society and to adopt all of his cultural, traditions and all of his, his ways and his customs, right? And what's so fitting is right now, you understand, in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, we've been taught, to take back our traditions, to take back our culture, to take back our way of life. You understand? To rehearse our righteous acts. You understand? And that's what we're doing right now. We are within the 8-day feast of Hanukkah, man. You understand? And the whole story and the whole reasoning behind such a valuable tradition, right, and custom is that it's very parallel to the hell that we live in today. It's very parallel to some of the issues that we deal with today. And we're going to talk about it tonight, man. We're going to get into the scriptures. We're going to get into the Bible. You understand? We're not going to do like your pastor. We ain't got no gospel songs for you. You understand? We got no gospel songs. We ain't got no hymns. The video that y'all saw a second ago was just another piece of what we do in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, which is what the Lord commanded, the men of the Lord to do. You understand? And that's to take care of this nation, man, to take care of the widows, to take care of the fatherless. You understand? And that's what we do. That's what we did in New York this past week. I want to big up to Commander General Yohana. You understand? Also, General Katham who kind of led the way on this mission. You understand? All the other generals and all the other captains and officers and troopers and the sisters that showed up to support the event, the clothing drive in New York. It was absolutely phenomenal. You understand? The world now knows that, we in the ISUPK, we're not here to play games about the work of the Lord. We're not here to play games about, you understand, getting this nation in order, right? So we're gonna we're gonna start pointing out some of our flaws. That's some of the things we got to do. We got to kind of look at where we've gone wrong if we ever expect to get something right. You understand? And that's what we got to take a look at. And that's why this 8-day feast is so important. This remembrance, this recap of what happened to us historically, it actually has a lot of value in helping us right the direction that we're headed in. You understand? We need to correct the path that we're on. If we keep doing the same old, we just gonna get the same old. And you look at the condition of our people today, man, we can't keep doing the same old. We need change. We need something different. What we've been doing has not been working. You understand? The Latinos in New York City, thousands of them suffering. You understand? Thousands of them without clothing, without food, without, basic necessities. You understand? For living. You understand? But the ISUPK, we're here to provide those things. And the other thing that we lack is, again, that education about who we are and what it means to be who we are, what it is we're supposed to be doing, right? So we're going to get it in the Bible, man. We're going to talk about the books of Maccabees. We're going to get a little bit out of the first book. We're going to get a little bit out of the second book. And I guess you kind of got to ask yourself, why have you never even heard of the book of Maccabees? Why are you sitting up in that Christian church your entire life and you think I'm about to read something from, Lord knows where? When the book of Maccabees is one of the original books that were in the King James 1611 Bible, man. These books belong there. You understand? Despite whatever council thought that they could be taken out in an attempt to, mislead the people, right? These books are our history, man. And and when we get into it, you'll understand why the Catholic Church would go about trying to remove this. You'll see why the Christian Church, doesn't want much to do with books like these, because I mean, when we get into it, you're going to identify some similarities between some of the characters. You understand? And maybe these things will wake you up a little bit. So we're going to jump into the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. Going to jump to verse 11, man. We're going to start verse 11. Just for context sake, we're going to, just to bring you up to speed, the Greeks and the Romans are terrible people. They've always been terrible people to the Israelites. You understand? The Greeks and the Romans, they've always, had hand in our captivity and, just doing us completely wrong. Right. And there was a time in our history where there were evil Greek rulers that demanded that, the Israelites, the children of Israel, conform to their ways. You understand? Conform to their lifestyles, conform to their customs, and to reject our own customs, and to reject our own God, and to reject his laws. You understand? They had a very aggressive campaign to get us to turn on the Most High, man. And some of us did. Some of us turned on the Most High, but some of us stood strong, man. Commander General, a lot of this story reminds me of Commander General Yohana, man, where it seemed like the whole world wanted him to put his sword down and to leave this truth. But Commander General Yohana stood strong, like some of these characters you're about to read about, all right? So we're going to get into it. Go ahead and read verse 11, Baba Kasha.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11.
Go ahead.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
So we got brothers in Israel that are in charge, you understand? And one thing we got to understand is everybody that's in charge ain't necessarily fit for leadership. Everyone that's so-called in charge ain't necessarily got, the children of Israel's best interest at the forefront of their decision making. You understand? Today they will be considered sellouts, or coons, or some type of traitor. You understand? That's what this is describing. Go ahead.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Let us do what?
Make a covenant with the heathen.
Let us do what?
Make a covenant with the heathen.
There were wicked men in Israel that wanted us to make covenants with the heathens, man. The damn Greeks had come and they're taking over land. They're growing their empire like they always do. You understand? Like the oppressor it seems like he has no other alternative but to, gobble up all the land he can see. You understand? And in that quest, Israel's there. And you got some cowards that are, in Israel who are wicked, man. You understand? What you're going to learn is being wicked is just cowardice. That's what it pretty much boils down to. You're just a coward. You can't stand on what you've been taught. You can't stand on who you are. You'll bend over and you'll just comply with everything. You understand? The oppressor, or the slave master, tells you to do. You'll just conform. You'll just submit. And that's what these wicked men did. Keep reading.
That are round about us.
You understand? We're surrounded by other nations that have other goofy ideologies and religions and customs and traditions. And these wicked men wanted us to just conform. They wanted us to just do whatever they do. Go ahead.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Yeah, they're talking about since we left the heathens alone, it's been kind of rough. You understand? Trying to serve the God of this Bible is a rough thing. You understand? Like it is tough. The Bible says if any man come to serve the Lord, he might as well prepare himself for temptation. It's going to be trying, man, to serve the Lord. And if you're wicked and if you're a coward, you're going to think that serving the Lord is the reason why you're suffering. You're going to think that your allegiance to him is the reason, like you're going to think that to turn on the Most High is where you'll find relief. That's where you think that that's where you're going to find peace. That's where you're going to find all the things you want. That's where all your, all your desires will, will come to fruition if you turn your back on the Most High. But that's not the way it is. That's not the truth. Keep reading.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. Again,
the leadership we had at that time, they said, yeah, you know what? It'd probably be best if we just go ahead and lay down, man. It'd probably be best if we just go ahead and conform to their ways. It'd probably be best if we just go ahead and just submit to what they want us to do. Keep reading.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
Now you hear that? Jerusalem is our holy land, man. Jerusalem is where, it all goes down. You understand? That's where we have all of our, the assembly for our feast days. You understand? And our traditions and our customs. And we as a nation look to our so-called king, who thought it was a great idea to go ahead and join the heathens and to go ahead and take the place that where we're supposed to honor the Most High, and to turn it into a damn place that honors the heathens' gods, a place that honors the heathens' traditions and the heathens' customs. This starting to sound a little bit familiar? Are you starting to kind of picture, this history in your present day? If not, we're going to read a few more scriptures. Maybe the picture will become a little bit more clear. I don't want to, what it says, spoiler alert. I don't want to spoil it. You know what I'm saying? But it gets very specific. And you have to ask yourself why your pastor could never teach these books. Why your pastor could never teach these lessons. All right. Drop down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt.
Okay, and again, Antiochus, that's the Greek ruler. You understand, like a Greek, a cat and of the Greeks that was in charge, and he hated the Israelites. You understand? Keep reading.
He returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
Again, the oppressor is just so thirsty for power and just thirsty for resources and land, and he just takes everything by force. You understand? So he don't run through Egypt. He double back. He's like, man, we're gonna run through Jerusalem. You understand? We taking over everything we see. Everything we see belongs to us. The oppressor is so arrogant. He's always been arrogant. You understand? His forefathers were insanely arrogant. And that's what this is. Keep reading.
Verse 21. And entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof.
So they come into Jerusalem, our capital. You understand? Our headquarters. And in an attempt to just to exert dominance, and to exert that type of just aggression, right? They go and they start taking things. You understand? Now, whose history does that sound like? Yes, the Native Americans, who this reminds them of. Huh? You ask the daggone Pequot and the Narragansett, you know what I mean? Like who this sounds like, that would just come and just start taking things. Pillaging. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the table of shewbread. And the pouring vessels. And the vials. And the censers of gold. And the veil. And the crown. And the golden ornaments that were before the temple. All which he pulled off.
Yeah, so they come into our temple, man, and they just start taking things. Everything that looks valuable, everything that looks important to us, they can't stand for us to have it. They got to take that from us. You understand? Ooh, wait, it's so deep. It gets so deep here. You understand? Because they're taking the tangible things. They're taking the physical items, right? They're taking all of our physical items out of the temple. You would think that would be enough, right? What the hell more does a robber or a thief want besides the things? Well, this is where we learned that our oppressor is a little bit more wicked than that. He's a little bit more greedy than that. Having everything that belongs to you isn't enough. He has to take more than that from you. It's not enough to just leave you broke. It's not enough to just leave you without any food, without any clothes. There's something more that he has to take from you to satisfy his wickedness, man. It's something a little bit more sinister, man. Keep reading.
Verse 23. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found.
Go ahead.
Verse 24. And when he had taken all away.
He did what?
When he had taken all away.
Damn, he took every damn thing. He left nothing. He took the stuff that was hidden. He took the stuff that was out. You understand? He took whatever he saw, he took. Keep reading.
He went into his own land, having made a great massacre.
Yeah. So he went back. He came and, did all the damage he could do and then just went home. Easy. Keep reading.
And spoken very proudly.
Spoke how?
Very proudly.
Spoke how?
Proudly.
Listen, man. Listen. All of those. Oh man, who does that sound like? Huh? Just so proud of the massacre that they just did. Huh? Last month, the month of November, the oppressor celebrates his massacre of the Native Americans, man. He celebrates it with a feast called Thanksgiving. Thanks for giving me everything that you have. Thanks for giving me your land. Thanks for giving me your resources. Thank you. You understand? Thanks for giving me your lives. I mean, it's mirror-esque. You understand? This history mirrors another history that we're all familiar with. Keep reading.
Verse 25. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel.
There was what?
A great mourning in Israel.
Keep reading.
In every place where they were.
Israel mourned, man. This is supposed to be a bad thing. This isn't a good thing that happened to us. This isn't anything to celebrate. This isn't anything to have a damn feast about. Huh? This isn't anything to have Thanksgiving about. There's nothing to be thankful for here. We were just brutalized. We were just terrorized. Keep reading.
Verse 26. So that the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
Listen, that's like we were destroyed. You understand? We were in such a destroyed state. Again, you got to understand like psychological warfare, right? And terrorism, right? When you've been terrorized, you don't think too like when you've been when you've suffered trauma, sometimes the way you think can kind of get skewed and obscured. You understand? Like the way you think isn't necessarily sound in the midst of some trauma. And that's what we were traumatized. You understand? Women started doing unnatural things. Can you think of present day behavior of women that might be unnatural? Can you think of present day behavior of men that might be a little unnatural? Well, it's because we've been traumatized. You understand? What the oppressor came over here and did to us in the Americas, to the blacks, the Latinos, and the Native Americans, it is very traumatizing. It's very it's psychology altering. You understand? But that's no excuse either. You understand? The Lord, there are brothers and sisters that were courageous throughout this, and we're about to learn about them. All right, jump down to verse 41, Baba Kasha.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41.
Go ahead.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That what?
All should be one people.
That what?
All should be one people.
That all should be one people. So the Greek king says, you know what? We should all just get along. We should all just hold hands and come together and just be one. Huh? Do you see that anywhere in your life today? Is that relevant at all today? Huh? Where do you see that today? Amawa?
Patriotism.
Get that brother a hand. That's your American patriotism, isn't it? Isn't that the melting pot? Huh? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? We all supposed to melt and be one people? What they say, one nation under God, indivisible? Huh? This history repeats itself. Read that again from the top.
Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
All should be one people, boy. The Lord said in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6, that thou art an holy people unto the Lord. You understand? Like, we're supposed to be separate. We're not supposed to be like everybody else. There's supposed to be a difference between us. You understand? The Lord severed us from the other nations. He wanted us to be set apart and completely different and special to him. And what makes us special to him? The way we behave. In contrast to the way the other nations behave. In contrast to the way that the heathens behave. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us holy. That's what makes us separate. So the king says, no. To hell with that separatism. Huh? To hell with that radical ideology. We're all going to be one. I think it's funny, too, that when they say we're all going to be one, it's never, okay, we're all going to be one and we're going to follow after y'all. Huh? You know, like they don't compromise and now start celebrating our feast days. They don't compromise and start serving our God and keeping our laws. No, it's a one-way street. When they talk about being one, this isn't a negotiation. This isn't a compromise. This isn't anything fair. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Listen, they said, everybody should leave their laws. You get what I'm saying? So it ain't even enough that they took all of our goods, all of the things that were precious to us. You understand? All of the things that were, sacred to us. They took these objects. It wasn't enough to have everything that belonged to us. They needed more. And that's the type of beast that our oppressor is. He just requires more and more and more. Everything you have, your pockets pulled out, is not enough. He requires you to abandon who you are and be like him and to serve him. You understand? And to get in line under him and to worship what he worships, love what he loves, and hate who he hates. That's why we have the problem with the gang violence and stuff. You understand? Like, we've been taught to hate each other. We've been taught to gun each other down, to sell each other poison. You understand? We've been taught to hate our brother. We've been taught to sleep with our brother's wives. You understand? Like, this is, he requires that from us. You understand? The oppressor demands that from us, just like in the book of Maccabees. Keep reading.
Verse 43.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Read that again.
Many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
There's going to be a lot of people that consent to this. There's going to be a lot of people that go ahead and say, you know what? You damn right. The king wants us to abandon the laws and not keep the laws of our God. No sweat. If the king said do it, that's what we got to do. Keep reading.
And sacrificed unto idols.
Unto what?
Idols.
Unto what?
Idols.
Listen, man, he sacrificed the idols. That's all the king wants? Huh? The king says sacrifice the idols? Even though the Most High says we ain't supposed to be worshiping no idols. But the king said we got to do it, so we're going to do it. Oh, that's your Christian church. That's your pastor. That's maybe that's the part of the Maccabees that the pastor can't stomach teaching, that he can't stomach reading. You understand? Because that hits him a little bit. You understand? That hits the Christian church right in the forehead to worship their idols. Keep reading.
And profane the Sabbath.
And profane the Sabbath. This is all just going against God. Just do whatever you can do to go against God because the king said so. The king said not to worship your God, not to keep his laws. Don't do it. Keep reading.
Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and sites of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
The what?
The strange laws of the land.
The what?
The strange laws of the land.
Listen, man, when they tell you a man can marry a man, you follow that law. When they tell you that, a man can only have one woman, you better follow that law. When they tell you you better celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day and New Year's and the 4th of July, when they tell you to stand up when they play that Star Spangled Banner, when they tell your child to stand up and put that hand over their heart and pledge their allegiance, they better do it. Don't give a damn what the Most High says. You better do what the president of the U.S. says. Oh, do you see the similarities here? Do you see this? All right. Keep reading.
Verse 45. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple.
Yeah, see, we were supposed to keep the Lord's high holy days, man. These are some of the traditions that we had in the temple. We would have the burnt offerings. We would have the drinks. You understand? We would keep these feast days. You understand? These days would be Sabbaths. You understand? Keep reading.
And that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days.
Yeah, they said those days, those holidays and traditions, those high holy days that you used to keep, you better not be doing that up in here. You better not be doing that garbage, man. You are not allowed to do those things. You are not allowed to serve your God. Keep reading.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Man, we polluted, man. We've been polluted. And that was their whole of that, like that was a part of it. It wasn't enough to just take everything we have. Now we got to pollute the very essence of who you are. You understand? That's the oppressor, and that's the children of Israel. You got to ask yourself, who else suffers that at this point? Who suffers that? Who's subject to that type of terrorism where you can't even be a damn Israelite in America without extreme consequences? Well, here's the thing. In the book of Maccabees, there are people who conform, like we just read about. Many of the people would just say, okay, it's easier to just go along with society. It's easier to just go along with the norms of this land and to just do whatever they tell us to do. But then there's a remnant. There's a few that are going to, how do I say this? Have courage. You understand? And that's the brothers and sisters in the ISUPK under command of General Yohana. This is the only place where you're going to find the courage that it requires to truly serve the God of the Bible against the powers, that be. Against the ones, the wicked that have rulership over this planet. This is the only place that teaches to hell with what they, would prefer of you and demand of you. We're going to keep these feast days. You understand? We're going to keep these traditions, and we're not going to keep theirs. What verse was that?
This was 46.
Go ahead, keep reading. Salaki.
Verse 47. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols.
Right.
And sacrifice swine's flesh.
Go ahead.
And unclean beasts.
Yeah, listen, they're going to take our traditions and they're going to swap them out with things that are entirely unclean. Things that are in stark opposition to the Most High's laws. You understand? Like there's the damn Chinese call it like the yin and the yang. You know what I mean? Like we're just damn opposites, man. We are opposites of the oppressor. What they love and what they worship and what they value is in contrast to what the Most High demands of us to value and to hold dear and to worship. It's just a constant difference, man. Keep reading.
Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Do you know how important that is? Not only do you have to, abandon the Most High, you have to teach your children too as well. Which is why this month is so interesting to me, because it's Christmas. It's the month that they participate in the tradition, after the worship of Saturnalia. You understand? Some pagan god, some stupid tradition, right? This is the month that we do it. And a big part of it is the kids. Get the kids gifts. A lot of us can't stop celebrating Christmas because we worried about whether or not our children will approve of it. We worried about whether, like, our children crying or complaining about not getting gifts for Christmas. So we're going to abandon the Most High behind, what we've taught our children to expect and to demand on December 25th. The new iPhones and the new damn video games, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5s, right? We got to celebrate Christmas because we taught our kids to demand these things, right, in December. And that's because the king made us do it. The king demanded that we do it. Keep reading.
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Profanation, man. Listen, we done messed our kids up, man. Our kids don't stand a chance outside of the ISUPK. Outside of the ISUPK, your kids are going to be taught that they can have, relations with whoever they so well choose. You understand? Like whatever attracts them, they should just act on. Right? Do I got to get specific? I'm talking about a specific community that is riddled with confusion. It's so damn confusing that the acronym that represents them is constantly changing. It's something new every damn month. It's some new letter added to it, some new some new character. You know what I mean? They're not going to stop at letters. Soon they're going to be using numbers. They're going to be using the asterisks and the carets and the ampersands and the damn pound symbols. like it's just not going to stop, man. Just riddled with profanity, man. Just riddled with uncleanness, man. Anything they can do to go against the Most High, this nation demands that we teach our children, man. Keep reading.
Verse 49. To the end they might forget the law.
Read that again.
To the end they might forget the law.
Read that one more time.
To the end they might forget the law.
All of that in the hopes that the Lord's chosen people, the children of Israel, will ultimately forget all about the law that the Most High had for the children of Israel. You understand? They wanted to wean us off of it. They wanted to filter it out of our generations. Any remembrance of the law. That's extreme wickedness and terrorism, man. That's like another form of genocide. You understand? You're trying to do more than just unalive people. You're trying to unalive the very essence of who they are. You understand? Their identity, their culture. And that is very mirror-esque to what the oppressor has done here in the Americas, man. with the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Absolutely demanded that we assimilate and melt in this melting pot and become like them and take on their traditions and their culture, their language, their gods, their greeds, their rudiments. You understand? Salakia, let's drop down to verse 53. Let's see what happened.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 53.
Go ahead.
And drove the Israelites into secret places.
Listen, the Israelites that weren't down with it, the Israelites that didn't approve of, you know what I'm saying, this type of, conforming, the Israelites that didn't agree with the king, the Israelites that actually had a bit of wisdom in terms of, you know what I mean, like, are we really supposed to turn our back on the Most High? Go ahead. What'd they do?
Even wheresoever they could flee for succor.
Right. For secure. You understand? We fled into secret places, man. We had to go into hiding. Huh? We had to tuck our shields. You understand? If we were going to keep a feast day, we better keep it to ourselves. You understand? We better not be out here in the streets talking about some, shalom, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah. We better not be talking that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we better not be, boots, braids, and beards. We better cut that hair. You know what I mean? You got to get, you got to hide. And that's what they did. They fled. They actually fled into the wilderness, into the woods, and into the caves. You know what I'm saying? So that they could keep their tradition. They couldn't be around the heathens and keep their tradition. You understand? And keep their identity. Keep reading.
Verse 54. Now the 15th day of the month, Caslev.
Caslev, go ahead.
In the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar.
Yeah, the abomination of desolation upon the altar. Again, they take our temple, they take our altar where we, you know what I'm saying, do our sacrifices, and they go sacrifice nonsense on it. You know what I mean? They go and sacrifice swine on there. You know what I'm saying? Like to mock us, to intentionally, you know what I'm saying? Like damn, what's the word? It's a word for it. Like the intentional disrespect, to disrespect us, man. To disrespect us and to disrespect the Most High. It's like, oh, swine is an abomination to your God. Y'all don't eat swine? No sweat. Check out how we get ready to put this swine all over your temple. You understand? All over your altar. It's such a damn, it's just a show of, it's just a show of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? And domination. But ooh-wee. You got that one. Huh? They got that one. They did that. They did it. But I don't think that's how the story ends. I don't think that's the end of it. Does it say the end? Wow. No, all right, keep reading.
And builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side.
Listen, man, they put the idols up. The Most High is against idols, and they go and erect idols all throughout the city. Huh? Now, see, again, your pastor doesn't understand. He does understand. I'm not going to let him off the hook. Your pastor knows that Christmas tree is virtually an idol. It's an idol that's talked about in the book of Jeremiah. It's an idol that is, it's a damn idol by all sense of the definition. The Christmas tree that gets worshipped. Not only does it get worshipped, it gets damn tributes and sacrifices and gifts and presents put underneath of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets, I mean, and damn, you think about it, you got to get down to put a Christmas present under the Christmas tree, right? Your pastor knows this. And yet and still, your pastor is going to put a Christmas tree up in the church. Your pastor is going to get the choir to sing all the Christmas carols, all the great hits, huh? The Silent Nights, huh? All of them. Your pastor is going to get is completely on board with all the behaviors of the heathens that celebrate this idol, that worship this idol. Here we go. Salagi, what verse were you on?
This was verse 54.
I'm gonna need you to jump to verse 56 for time's sake. No, Salakia. Go ahead, read verse 56.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
Listen, the books of the law that they found, they went and burnt them with fire. There's one thing that the oppressor does not want, and that is you to have access to who you truly are, man. That is a threat to the oppressor. You knowing who you are is unacceptable to the oppressor. He knows that if you know who you are and you stand on the business of the Most High, that does not fare well for him. That does not fare well. So again, he tries to get you, throw your traditions and customs away. Forget the law. And not only should you forget the law, don't teach your children the law. You understand? Let your children grow up under our law, under our traditions, under our customs. It was a big threat. It was what it said, a threat to national security, huh? Which is why a lot of the brothers in the ISUPK, brothers got to deal with the FBI all the time. You understand? Which is why a lot of people consider us a goddamn extremist, a radical extremist hate group, because we want to serve God. Simple. We want to keep the laws of the Most High. So we're Salakia. We're terrorists because we want to serve God. Do you see the parallels? Do you see how it's the same thing? It fits. Doing this thing that we do according to the Bible will get you ostracized and villainized in this land, because the oppressor back then, the oppressor back then couldn't stand it, and the oppressor now can't stand it. You understand? Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, they lose their endorsements. Oh, you can't be talking about, you know what I'm saying? You can't resurrect the idea of who we truly are. You cannot be subscribing to that. That is a no-no in this land. Okay. Well, what will you do? What's your pastor going to do? Huh? Your pastor is surely going to stand up for the Most High. Your pastor is surely going to look at this story and be inspired to stand for the Most High. Maybe not. Maybe your pastor ain't one of those. Going to read verse 59. We're going to hit this one real good.
Verse 59.
Salakia, did we read verse 56?
Yeah, we did. That was the last one.
Read verse 57. Salakia.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 57.
And
whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law.
If any what?
If any committed to the law.
Anybody that commits to the law, anybody that commits to the law of the Most High, anybody that's reading this Bible, you know what I'm saying, and actually taking something from it and saying, you know what, I'm going to do what they did in this Bible. Keep reading.
The king's commandment was that they should be put him to death.
They should what?
That they should put him to death.
They should what?
Put him to death.
Listen, the king can't accept that. The king cannot accept your commitment to the Most High. This kingdom cannot accept your commitment to the Most High. Salakia, bring this around one time. Do something about this stream one time. The king can't stand for that. Very much like the oppressor in this land, he does not want us doing, you know what I'm saying, the Lord's work. Right. He does not want us keeping the feast days, keeping the laws. He doesn't want us doing any of those things, man. He wants us to absolutely be sellouts. He wants us to be goddamn Amari Stoudemire. He wants us to be Amari Stoudemire. He wants us to be a traitor to our people. He wants us to hate what he hates. But we can't do that. And the ISUPK under command of General Yohana, we've been raised better than that. We've been raised better than to betray the Most High. You know what I'm saying? In the name of what? Appeasing our oppressor? No. Keep reading.
Verse 58. Thus did they bide their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities.
So it was like a monthly thing. They would go through the cities and they would round up any Israelite that is, keeping the law. Any Israelite that's keeping the law is going to be unalived. TikTok. That's wild that TikTok lets you, makes you have to say unalived. That's tough, right? So what would your pastor do, huh? If keeping the law meant that he would be unalived, you think he would keep the law? You know what your pastor's going to do? He's going to erect that idol of a Christmas tree in that sanctuary ASAP, huh? Your pastor couldn't stomach the idea of being considered a damn Grinch. You understand? Like, if you don't celebrate Christmas, this society says, oh, you're just being a Grinch. They do ostracize you a little bit. So your pastor doesn't even want to be called a damn Grinch. You know what I mean? To serve the Most High. He's going to put the Christmas tree up. He's going to decorate it. They're going to do, secret Santas. Your pastor's probably doing elf on the damn shelf every Sunday. Your pastor's got a damn elf running around, putting them in different places in the sanctuary, causing all kinds of mischief because he loves the oppressor and his traditions, man. And he hates the Most High. He is a coward. He cannot serve the Most High at the threat of any type of scrutiny from the king, from the president, from this society. Oh, no. Your pastor can't stomach that. Keep reading.
Verse 59.
Verse 59. I want y'all to pay close attention to this. Pay close attention to this and ask your pastor. This will be a good one to take to your pastor with a little bit of, just give them the background, quick rundown what we've talked about so far. And then just kind of just hit this scripture, just if you so choose to. Go ahead.
Now the 5 and 20th day.
The what?
The 5 and the 20th day.
Read that one more time.
Now the 5 and 20th day of the month.
The 5 and 20th day of the month. Does anybody online know what day of the month this would be? The 5 and 20th day. Anybody good with math? Just ain't cross the line. I'm not going to hit you with the 10. What's 5 plus 5? What's 5 and 20? Armor 1?
25.
That's what?
25.
The 25. That's 25. So the 25th day of the month, what would happen?
They did sacrifice upon the idol altar.
They did what?
They did sacrifice upon the idol altar.
They did what?
They did sacrifice upon the idol altar.
On the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, man. Is there a holiday that's celebrated on the 25th of a month in which your pastor is going to sacrifice unto this idol? Huh? No one? No one knows? Big mystery, huh? The veil. Yeah, Christmas, man. Christmas is the 25th of December. Am I mistaken? Have I not celebrated Christmas in so long that I forgot what day it is? The 25th of December. Am I correct? Yeah, 25th of December. Your pastor is going to do offerings to the idol of the Christmas tree, huh? After midnight, he's going to sneak downstairs in his house and going to put presents under a Christmas tree. Keep reading.
Which was upon the altar of God.
Yeah, that's where the altar of God is supposed to be. You understand? We supposed to be worshiping the Most High. We supposed to, like you're gonna. It's how do I say it? It's a slap in the Most High's face. You understand? Like it's egregious. You really gonna do this? This is what you're gonna do instead of keep my laws. You really gonna just, just celebrate Christmas? You really just gonna just celebrate New Year's? You really just gonna celebrate Valentine's Day? You really just gonna celebrate Easter? You gonna celebrate the 4th of July? You gonna celebrate Thanksgiving? The Lord ain't with that, man. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
Like we said, they unalived anybody that opted to keep the traditions of the Most High, anybody that opted to keep their identity and to keep the law of the Most High, they would unalive. That's your oppressor, man. Your oppressor is in the business of unaliving any adversaries. Any adversary, he's going to unalive. Keep reading.
Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks.
Wow. Keep reading.
And rifled their houses.
Go ahead.
And slew them that had circumcised them.
Listen, man, you try to teach your children to keep the law of the Most High, you and your child are going to be unalived. Huh? Little baby. You try to rock this Israelite culture. And the oppressor is going to unalive you. He is going to attack you. He is going to try to end you. He can't stand for it. It's zero tolerance. Zero tolerance, man. Zero tolerance to the Greeks at that time. And in this land. You can't be doing that nonsense. You can't be doing that. Keep reading.
Verse 62. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
So there were some Israelites that didn't want to eat any unclean thing, man. They wanted to keep their culture. Keep reading.
Verse 63. Wherefore the rather to die.
They what?
The rather to die.
They what?
The rather to die.
And the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohan, I pray y'all understand. We'll take whatever backlash we get from serving the Most High. It is extremely honorable to suffer whatever persecution that this land and this nation may have, for our decision to serve God and to keep his laws and to reject theirs. You understand? To reject their Christmas, to reject their New Year's, to reject their Valentine's Day, to reject their Mother's Day and Father's Day. Whatever persecution comes our way, bring it. Because there was a remnant in Israel that felt that same way. We can't betray the God. We can't betray our God in the name of what? Appeasing our oppressor? Now, what does your pastor do? Does he keep the law? Does he choose to keep the law? Knowing that it'll get him ostracized, knowing that it'll get him less of a damn following, huh? To know that he'll appeal to less people to say, you know what? We ain't supposed to be doing all these wicked things. No, you know what your pastor's going to do? Your pastor's going to say, you know what? The law is done away with. The Christian church teaches that the law of the Most High is done away with, and we don't have to follow it. We don't have to obey it. But here's what you don't know. The only reason your pastor's saying that is because the king demands him to say that. You understand? The king and his people demand that he does away with the law. So he says, okay, the law's done away with. We don't do the law. Instead of doing the law, we do Christmas. Instead of doing the law, we eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Instead of doing the law, we worship all these other gods. This is what happens, man. This is what your pastor has elected to do. When there were those in Israel who said, you know what? We would rather die or be unalived. Keep reading.
Verse 63. Wherefore the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died.
Yeah, they took it, man. They said, we'll take this to our grave. Do you know how honorable that is? Do you know how courageous that is? Do you know how strong that is? We've lost that in the Black, Latino, and Native American communities, man. What the hell do we stand for? What do we stand for in these communities, man? Today, what do we stand for, man? We stand for idol worship. We don't even realize that the king has tried to cut us off from our identity. He banned our parents and our forefathers, our ancestors, from teaching us the truth about who we are. The 12 tribes, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Manasseh, the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Issachar, all the 12 tribes. We don't know who we are because we weren't allowed to be who we are. Just like in the Maccabees, man, just like the Greeks tried to do. But there's going to be a few that stand. They're going to stand. They're not going to forfeit who we are. What the hell are you if you're going to forfeit who you are? What are you then? What the hell are you going to do? What are you? The oppressor is a vagabond. See, that's why he behaves in this manner. That's why he demands our identity, because he don't got one. Huh? Esau don't got an identity. He's a vagabond on the earth. He just running around a damn culture vulture, adopting every damn custom and tradition of everybody else and claiming it to be his own. For what? What does it even profit him? When in the end, he's just going to be a damn violent villain. But we as the Lord's chosen people, what the hell are we going to die for? Huh? What are we going to stand for? We don't stand for anything. We just go along with society. We just go along with the norms. Whatever the new trend is, we just going to do it. When the Lord demands so much more of his chosen people, man. Where the hell is the courage that we about to read about? Let me get the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 2. We get ready to get into it. We get ready to see like that the Lord's chosen people, Israelites are supposed to be insanely courageous, man. And there is no other organization on earth that teaches the insane courage that is required to stand like the brothers and sisters in this book. The ISUPK stands alone in teaching this type of courage. Let me get the verse 1, Baba Kashar, if I could.
1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1.
Go ahead.
In those days arose Matthias.
That's Mattathias.
Salakia.
No sweat.
In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simon, a priest of the son of Jorid.
Oh yeah.
From Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin.
He dwelt in Modin. He lived in Modin. Mattathias lived in Modin. Go ahead.
Verse 2. He had 5 sons.
He had what?
5 sons.
Brother had 5 sons, man. I don't know about you brothers out there. You got children. You got sons. I pray you raise your sons to be like like Mattathias raised his sons. Listen, this is what we need in our community. We need brothers like Mattathias. Commander General Yohana is very much Mattathias-like when it comes to the brothers and sisters that he raises up in the ISUPK. Keep reading.
Joannan, called Caddis. Simon, called Desai. Verse 4. Judas, who was called Maccabees.
That sounds familiar, don't it? Go ahead.
Verse 5. Eleazar,
called
Averin.
Uh-huh.
And Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis.
Good. Keep reading.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem.
Listen, he saw the blasphemies that were going on. He saw how our people were behaving. He saw what the king was demanding of our people, and he saw what our people were doing in response to these demands. Keep reading.
Verse 7. He said, "Woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people?"
He said, what the hell is going? This is how my people are supposed to behave? Who else talks like that besides the ISUPK? This is the condition of my people? The Bible says that surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. The ISUPK are the only mad group on this earth. You understand? The ISUPK are the only people who are mad about the condition that Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are in. We're the only ones upset that we are in the state that we are in. And we hustle, man, we scrounge tooth and nail trying to put this nation together, to revive this nation to its rightful glory, man, by turning back to the Most High and abandoning the customs of the king, man, abandoning the customs of this president, man, abandoning the customs of the wicked who rule this earth, man, this oppressor. Who else is mad? Who else is disturbed by it? Is your pastor mad about the damn traditions that he keeps every year? Your pastor looks forward to Christmas, man. Your pastor looks forward to Thanksgiving. He looks forward to New Year's. What, the little shut-in service? What, the watch night? The watch night service? What the hell is it called? They sit up damn New Year's Eve praying all night. Your pastor looks forward to these traditions. The men and the generals and the captains and the officers and the troopers and the ISUPK, we're disgusted, man, that our people have stooped to this, man, have succumbed to this, when the Most High has such a glorious culture for his people, man, that doesn't profane, you know what I'm saying, the Sabbath. We keep the Lord's high holy days. We're supposed to be celebrating the feast of Hanukkah right now, man. We ain't supposed to be damn Christmas shopping, going deeper, and we already in debt, huh? We already in debt. What the hell are we doing? Taking out yet another credit card so that we can stuff the damn Christmas tree, the idol, full of presents for our children. When we're supposed to be teaching our children that that's nonsense, man. There isn't an Israelite custom where a bunch of gifts are exchanged. You understand? Where your child is supposed to be spoiled and flooded with material objects as if that means something. We're supposed to have higher morals and values, man. Keep reading.
And of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of the stranger.
Your sanctuary was delivered into the hand of the stranger, man. And the stranger's a damn bastard, a heathen, an oppressor. Keep reading.
Verse 8. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
This place that's supposed to be so honorable, man, and so glorious, it's a man without glory. It's become vain. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Listen, man, our young are destroyed in this society, in this land, behind its traditions and its customs. When we get through some, like when we find out what happens with the Israelites here, we find out about Brother Mattathias, man, and Judas, Maccabees. Listen, there's the glory. That's what we're supposed to be teaching our children. What the hell are we teaching them? To be some whiny brats about what they didn't get for Christmas? Huh? Teach them to be selfish and damn materialistic. You teaching your daughter to be enthusiastic about receiving gifts. You don't understand what that leads to practically into her adulthood. Some pimp is going to give your daughter some gifts, and she's going to give her body away to anyone that will give her a few dollars because you want to celebrate Christmas. Because Christmas is because the God of Christmas is what you'll celebrate. Because Saturnalia is the tradition that you'd rather practice instead of Hanukkah, you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You rather celebrate Christmas instead of teaching your children about the strength and the honor and the dignity that comes with serving the Most High, about the courage that it takes to stand on who you are and what you believe in. No, listen, for me and my house, we're gonna do this little 8-day feast. You understand? We're gonna do this 8-day feast. We're gonna light these candles. We're gonna eat this grub. We're gonna read these stories. We're gonna read about how similar, the circumstances are. We're gonna read about how similar the circumstances are. We're gonna read about brothers and sisters that fell weak to these circumstances. And we're gonna read about brothers and sisters that stood strong and exercised courage in these circumstances. We're going to teach our children to be courageous, man. Y'all go celebrate Christmas all you want on the 25th day of the month. Go ahead and do those idol, sacrifice, make those sacrifices to the idols. Do your thing. Keep reading.
Verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
That's what you better understand. Psalms talks about all the nations that take part in our destruction. There ain't another nation outside of Israel who isn't complicit in our destruction, who isn't complicit in our captivity. There's no other nation that hasn't benefited from the demise of Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Arab man, he preys on the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He comes into the ghettos with his chicken joints, with his gas stations, selling all kinds of abominations, right? All types of damn get high paraphernalia. The damn Chinese man is putting all kinds of nonsense out of those so-called restaurants. You know what I mean? The damn Moabites, they out there. Is it chicken or is it cat? Is it monkey? Is it pangolin? COVID-19? Is it pangolin? Yeah, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like all the nations are complicit and benefiting off of our destruction. There's not a nation who is exonerated. There's not a nation who is excused or innocent. You know what I'm saying? They all benefit from our suffering, man. And we got to take that personal. We got to take that personal today. These are not your friends. These are not your allies. These are not your buddies. These are your parasites that leech off of your demise. Salakia, drop to verse 17. Verse 17, I'm sure verse 17 talks about your pastor. Verse 17, it has to be your pastor. I'm sure your pastor is a brother just like this. Hell, some of y'all's pastors are women. I'm sure that sister is just like this. Read.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 17. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on his wives.
Again, Mattathias is a strong brother. He got 5 sons. He's an upright brother. Keep reading.
Thou art a ruler.
He's a what?
A ruler.
He said, oh, yeah, okay. All right, Mattathias. This is the king coming to him. The officers, they're saying, all right, we work for the king. Mattathias, we see what you're doing. You a brother, you got some clout. You know what I'm saying? You they call it clout nowadays, right? Mattathias, you got some clout. Go ahead.
An honorable and great man in this city.
You got some clout in this city. In this city, you're respected. You understand? Like you got some. The people respect you. You know what I mean? You got a voice, you got a platform. Keep reading.
And strengthened with sons and brethren.
Oh boy, you got these 5 damn sons, they soldiers. You got all these brothers, they soldiers. Keep reading.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first.
Do what?
Now therefore come thou first.
You come here. Like we don't want to talk to them. We're gonna talk to you directly. We want to talk to you. Because and that's what you gotta understand. That's the issue with us being groupies for these damn celebrities, man. All these celebrities, y'all, a lot of y'all were big on Puff Daddy. A lot of y'all were big on Michael Jackson. A lot of y'all were big on Usher. A lot of y'all were big on damn R. Kelly. A lot of y'all were big on Will Smith. A lot of y'all big on these damn celebrities. So what do? They get the celebrity. They get the brother with the clout, the brother with the followers, the brother with the damn, you know what I mean, that with the hashtag that trends. Go ahead.
And fulfilled the king's commandment.
Listen, fulfill the king's commandments. Go ahead.
Like as all the heathen have done.
Like all the heathens done. All the heathens just go ahead and do whatever the hell the king says. Keep reading.
Yeah, and the men of Judah also.
Go ahead.
And such as remain at Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
They said, listen, all the heathens do what the king says, right? Everybody does what the king says. All the men of Judah, okay, you're going to do what the king says. Keep reading.
And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold.
They shall what?
Be honored with silver and gold.
They tried to buy Mattathias. Do you understand that? They tried to offer Mattathias silver and gold to be the king's friend. To go ahead and say, you know what? The king is about this. So why don't you influence the people that follow you to just be the king's friend? This ain't a big deal. Eating pork ain't a big deal. Celebrating Christmas is not a big deal. Just celebrate it. Standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, it's just the Pledge of Allegiance. Just stand. I just found out. Listen, the irony. I'm just on that point of standing for the damn national anthem. I got to touch this real quick. Colin Kaepernick was, could I call it, excommunicated from the NFL? Right? He was pretty much kicked out of the NFL for not standing for the national anthem. Well, do you know that America is now encouraging NFL players to kneel during the national anthem in support of Israel? Wrap your head around that. A black man who was trying to stand up for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and police brutality taking a knee during the national anthem, you get the hell out the league. But if you want to support Israel, you take a knee. The hypocrisy is heavy here, man. Keep reading.
Oh, and many rewards. Verse 19.
And Salakia, and thou and their children.
Salakia.
A little bit above it.
And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold.
Go ahead.
And many rewards.
And many rewards. Man, don't you want your sons to have, you know what I mean, big bankroll? Huh? Don't you want your sons to be able to buy the fanciest cars and live in the mansions and all of that? We can make that happen. All you gotta do is just submit to the king and abandon your God. That's simple, right? Huh? TD Jakes, all you gotta do is tell people, woman, thou art loosed, and we'll get you and your children mansions. Huh? Creflo Dollar, all you got to do is teach the Lord's chosen people that the law is done away with, and that, this nonsense called prosperity gospel, and we'll get you a private jet where you can fly all over the world and teach more and more people this nonsense. Mattathias, if he's a traitor and a coward and a sucker, he's going to take this deal. Him and his children will be set for life. They'll be friends of the king. They'll have silver and gold. They'll want for nothing. They'll have what they call it generational wealth. Mattathias, you can have these things. Just reject your God. Keep reading.
Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice.
Oh, Mattathias answered him, and he spake with a loud voice. A lot of people got a problem with the ISUPK simply because we speak with a loud voice. Well, you understand? When the Bible says, cry aloud and spare not, we do what the Bible says. We yell. We raise our voice, especially when it's about injustice, especially when it's about waking up the Lord's chosen people to their iniquity, to their sin, to their wickedness, to waking them up to what the Most High requires of his chosen special people. We yell. We raise our voice like a trumpet, like Mattathias did. But your pastor, here's what your pastor does. Your pastor says, oh, in the name of Jesus, God is in the building right now. Yes, he's in this place. Talking all damn smooth and hypnotic and all soft and keep reading. What did Mattathias say?
Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him.
He said, even though everybody else obey you, even though the rest of the world does whatever you say, even though all these nations you've conquered, all these lands you've taken, all the robbing and pillaging and terrorizing you've done, has everybody else willing to bow and submit to whatever you say? Keep reading.
And fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers.
Everybody else walked away from the religion of their forefathers. Huh? The Egyptians walked away from the religion of their forefathers. They walked away from Ra and them. Huh? They walked away from them Tutankhamun, the gods that he served. They walked away from Osiris. They walked away from that garbage when he ran through Egypt. You understand? Damn, Indian man, he walked away from Buddha. China man walked from Buddha. I mean, the Indian man, he walked away from damn Krishna. Huh? Is that down? You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
And give consent to his commandments.
Give consent to his commandment. His commandment was, we all gonna be one. We all gonna do what I do. Huh? Keep reading.
Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons.
Who?
Yet will I and my sons.
Who?
And my brethren.
He said, I, my sons, and my brethren. Listen, we. Keep reading.
Walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Walk where?
In the covenant of our fathers.
Walk where?
In the covenant of our fathers.
In the ISUPK on the Commander General Yohana, there is nothing else besides the covenant of our forefathers with the Most High. The laws he said to keep, we keeping them. You don't even know the laws because the pastor has taught you that there are no laws. The laws that people used to do, that people used to respect, that people used to follow, those are gone away with. You don't understand why your pastor teaches this nonsense doctrine of the laws done away with? Well, maybe now you'll understand. Your pastor was given a choice. Huh? His teachers were given a choice. You will reject the God of the Bible and his laws, and you'll just follow the laws of the oppressor. That's it. Those were his choice. If you don't follow the laws of the oppressor, if you choose to follow the laws of the God of the Bible, we are going to unalive you. Now do you see why your pastor teaches a damn doctrine about the laws done away with? It ain't a mystery now. Huh? The water to the feast of Hanukkah for keeping these records and these traditions and this documentation of how someone would take the God that they're supposed to serve and turn away from him. This is why. This is why, because the king don't want you to serve the God of the Bible. And your pastor said, okay, there is no law we're supposed to keep. We just gonna sing songs and dance, and we're gonna hug each other, and you're gonna give me money, and you're just gonna wish and hope, and we're gonna celebrate Christmas. We're gonna eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. We're gonna celebrate New Year's. We're gonna celebrate Thanksgiving. We're gonna celebrate Valentine's Day. We're gonna do everything that the oppressor does. Forget about that law. Now do you see where it went wrong? Your pastor chose. The Bible says a man can't serve two masters, man. He gonna love the one and hate the other. Your pastor chose. Your pastor could have taught you the laws in Leviticus. You understand? He could have taught you about what you're supposed to eat and not eat. He could have taught you about who's your brother and who's your enemy. He could have taught you about who you can lay with and who you can't lay with. Instead, he said, you know what? It don't matter. None of that matters. Just do whatever you want. God loves you anyway. This is why your pastor chose. Mattathias chose. Keep reading.
Verse 20. Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
He said, God forbid we should forsake the law. The last thing we're going to do is forsake the law. The law is what makes us who we are. The law is what protects us from the stupidity that you embark on. You know what I'm saying? The stupid path that you embark on, what? Trying to please yourself? Trying to give yourself pleasure? That's it. That's all that matters to you is pleasure and greed and self-satisfaction. You're going to unalive yourself doing those things. You're going to unalive yourself. Those things. Those are the ways that lead to destruction. That's what Christ said. That broad gate, that many there be that go therein, that lead to destruction. But there's such a narrow path called obedience to the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High, that commitment to what He says to do. That's what I'm gonna do. To hell with everything else. To hell with the world, with what the world might do about it. I'm doing it. I'm committed to it. Mattathias had that. Mattathias said, listen, everybody else bows and does whatever you say to do. No sweat. That's cool. We're going to do what the Lord says to do. Keep reading.
Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words.
We will not
hearken to the king's words.
We ain't going to listen to the king. We're not going to obey the king's words. Keep reading.
To go from our religion. Either on the right hand or the left.
He said, I ain't going from my religion. I ain't going from my allegiance to the Most High. I ain't going to the left or the right. I ain't moving even a little bit. Again, Christ describes that narrow gate. You know what I'm saying? That Salakia, that straight gate. Few there be that go there. Oh, it's so tight. It's so narrow. You can't compromise it. You can't take a step to the left and still make it through the gate. It's a single file line. That single file line is obedience to the Most High. It's the law. It's keeping the law. Mattathias made his mind up. He said, listen, man, me, my sons, my brethren, nah, we not veering off of this. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modin.
So he just pretty much rejected the offer from the king's officers. The king's officers are like, come on, man, we'll make you rich. Your sons will be rich. Just do it. And the kings will come, you know what I'm saying? We're going to give you the silver and the gold. Mattathias is like, nah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? I serve the God of the Bible. And then he watches another Israelite conform. He watches another Israelite compromise. What does your pastor do when he sees someone compromise along with him? What do you do when you see someone compromise? You know what I'm saying? The law of the Most High. What do you do? Huh? What do you do? What did Mattathias do? Keep reading.
Wait. according to the king's commandment.
Uh-huh.
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
Which thing when Mattathias saw?
When Mattathias saw what this Israelite did, keep reading.
He was inflamed with zeal.
He was what?
Inflamed with zeal.
He was what?
Inflamed with zeal.
Listen, he was inflamed with zeal. I don't know any other organization on this planet that has any type of zeal or is inflamed with any type of zeal outside of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. And we get ostracized for this inflamed zeal when it comes to the care of our people. When it comes to the service to the Most High, again, we're radical. We're extremists. we're goddamn extremists. Keep reading.
And his reins trembled.
His reins trembled. He's holding on. He's on a horse, and the reins, his damn hands are. He's so mad. His hands are trembling. He's like, what the? Is he really about to do what I think he's about to do? It reminds me of when I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see a sister exposing her entire goddamn body. It's the same kind of like trembling I feel when I see, what's that little boy named James, young boy James? When I see him, see his mom twerking on some other cat, and he has to run up and push his mom off that dude, man. And he's sitting there damn crying. Because again, this society demands our sisters to be less than honorable, to be a little bit loose in the pants. Oh, it's enraging. It's frustrating. You understand? Like he's upset. Keep reading.
Neither could he forbear to shew his anger according to judgment.
Go ahead.
Wherefore he ran.
He did what?
He ran.
He did what?
He ran.
Listen, man, he made haste. He couldn't contain himself. And what did he do when he saw this brother go ahead and say, you know what? When he saw your pastor put a Christmas tree in the damn church, what did he do?
And slew him upon the altar.
He did what?
He slew him upon the altar.
Yeah, he slew. He said, oh, you want to do that nonsense? Here, bang. You understand? Now, you know the ISUPK does not condone any type of violence against anyone, right? We are staunch believers in self-defense, but your pastors that are going to celebrate Christmas, go ahead. You're going to put your Christmas tree up? You're not in danger. We're not going to slew you. We're not going to unalive you or anything like that. However, do know that we look at it the same way Mattathias looks. Like, what the hell are you doing? You can't be serious. Christmas? A Christmas tree? Huh? A freaking evergreen will have you betray the Most High. You betray the Most High over an evergreen? Huh? You betray the Most High over an evergreen? Keep reading.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice.
Who else?
The king's commissioner.
Listen, Mattathias was so upset that the king's officers that said, hey, y'all better come up here and sacrifice to this altar. Y'all better come celebrate Christmas. Huh? Y'all better come celebrate New Year's. Y'all better come celebrate Thanksgiving. What did he do to those officers? Keep reading.
He killed at the time.
He did what?
He killed at that time.
TikTok, he said unalived. That's what he said. He unalived at the time. This is Mattathias. That's the spirit of the Most High, man. That's the spirit of the Most High. Like, you got to be insanely committed to the Most High to serve him. He wants nuts to serve him. You understand? He wants very much Mattathias-like individuals in his service. because that's how you get things done. I'm going to cut the story short for time's sake, but we're going to go to 2nd Maccabees, Salakia, chapter 7, if I could, Baba Kasha. Just in case your pastor thinks that, oh, that's 1st Maccabees. That's 1st Maccabees. I don't teach 1st Maccabees. I don't agree with 1st Maccabees. They doing this and that, this and that, this and that. I don't agree. You understand? We're going to go to 2nd Maccabees chapter 7. One of the most glorious stories I've ever read. We're going to run through it. And we got a little bit of time. You understand? We're a little bit over the time, but we on time. You understand? All right. Let me get that. 2nd Maccabees chapter 2, verse 7.
I got it. 2nd Maccabees chapter 2, verse 7. Which when Jeremy perceived.
Read that again, Salakia.
Which when Jeremy perceived. He blamed them, saying, as for that place, it shall be.
Salakia, 2nd Maccabees, chapter 7. It came to pass. No sweat. We're going to rock out, man. Some of y'all on TikTok got questions. Some of y'all on Facebook got questions. Go ahead, type them in the chat, man. We answer questions. We just reading the Bible. Huh? We allowed to read the Bible on TikTok? We allowed to read the Bible on TikTok today? That's all. That's all we want to do is read the Bible, if you'll allow us. I got a 10-minute ban earlier for lighting candles. That is insane. Go ahead and read. Salakia, and we are not a church. This is not a church, man. This is a birthright bloodline cult. You understand? That's how you join this. Go ahead.
2nd Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken.
All right, Salakia. Just for time's sake, I'm going to let you guys know. Judas Maccabeus, the son of Mattathias, he went back and took the temple. That temple that they profaned with the abomination of desolation. He went back, took that temple. He destroyed those Greeks that were up in there. He made them pay sorely. You understand? He ran them up out of there with some very courageous brothers. And then they rededicated the temple. They redecorated everything. They put everything back in order. New altar, everything. And that's what the Feast of Hanukkah is about. The translation of Hanukkah is literally the dedication, which is when we rededicated our sanctuary back to the Most High after the heathens came and profaned it and violated it with all of their wickedness and all of their damn disgusting practices with their idols and abominations. That's what it's about. But here's another strong story about Israelites who were faced with extreme adversity for believing what they believed and choosing to serve who they chose to serve. Keep reading.
With their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh.
So there was a sister who had 7 sons, and there's a wicked ass king, as per usual, some heathen, who says, y'all are going to eat this pork. Now, your pastor says that the damn law is done away with. Your pastor says that who cares about the law? The law is done away with. You understand? Your pastor don't care about the law. Your pastor says, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of the law? It says we're all saved by grace. He don't care about discipline and resistance to anything. He doesn't care about resistance. Your pastor doesn't care about resistance. Well, this sister and her sons were told by the king, you are going to eat swine's flesh. And this is her response. Read.
and were tormented with scourges and whips.
They were scourges and whips. They are being beaten and saying, eat the damn pig. Eat the pig. Eat the pig. Her and her 7 sons. Now, what would your pastor do? Huh? What would your pastor do? Your pastor's going to have a damn chitlin cookout. You know what I'm saying? For nothing. The king don't even got to tell him to eat the damn pork. Your pastor's going to eat a pork chop. Huh? The king ain't whipping your pastor, and he's going to eat chitlins. Read.
Verse 2. But one of them that spake first said thus.
One of them that spake first said thus. So one of the sons opened his mouth. And this is what his response to all of this nonsense, all of this forcage to eat pork. This is what came out of his mouth. Read.
What wouldest thou ask or learn of us?
He said, what the hell do you want? Like, what are you trying to, like, what do you want from us? You're telling us to eat the pork. We're saying no. You're whipping us. We're still saying no. What the hell do you want? Read.
We are ready to die.
We are what?
We are ready to die.
Man, don't you know that we're ready to die? You're spanking us when we're ready to die. If you don't understand that type, you can't understand that type of courage in the Christian church, man. You will never understand that type of courage about standing for the Most High in the Christian church. The Christian church teaches you to conform and suffer nothing. When this sister and her 7 sons, one of them said, what the hell is your, what are you doing? You're beating us to try to get us to eat pork when you're going to have to kill us. You understand? Now, where do you, is that the type of courage that's in your church? Huh? The Holy Church of First Baptist, Episcopal, you know what I'm saying? Apostolic, Methodist, Catholic nonsense of whatever. This is the courage that they teach. Keep reading.
Rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
We are not going to we would rather be unalived than to transgress the law of our Father. Now, where do you find that type of courage being taught and expect as a damn expectation? I could tell you where. In the ISUPK on the Commander General Yohana, it's so difficult to become something in here because you have to understand that doing this and believing this and practicing this could cost you your life. And you got to be willing to give it. You got to be willing to give it. You got to be willing to cough that damn life, that disgusting life of yours up. You got to be willing to give it up to serve the Most High. You understand? Poor Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. You got to be willing to lose that endorsement deal. That damn Adidas contract. you got to be willing to lose that Adidas contract, Kanye. Keep reading.
Verse 3. Then the king, being in a rage.
He was what?
Being in a rage.
King got mad. He's like, oh, King got hot. He's like, oh, you willing to die for this? Keep reading.
Commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot.
So he started making, he's, I'm about to cook up something nice for you. You want to talk that? We're going to see if you are about what you say you're about. We're going to see if you're, if you're willing to walk the walk. You're talking it. You sound tough. You sound like you're committed to it. Heat them pans up. Let's get some hot stuff ready for this one. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Which forthwith, being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first.
He did what?
Cut out the tongue of him that spake first.
That brother that said, what are you expecting? Don't you know we're willing to die for this? Don't you know that our obligation to the Most High is to die for service to him and obedience to him? He said, don't. The king said, cut out his tongue. Would your pastor take that tongue cutting? Huh? Your pastor would let him rip that tongue out of his mouth? Keep reading.
And to cut off the utmost parts of his body.
And cut off the utmost parts of his body. He started dismembering this guy, this brother that said, I'm going to stand for the Most High. You got to kill me. You got to unalive me. Keep reading.
The rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
His brothers and his mother are watching him stand on this. Now you feel that for a second. Imagine watching, imagine watching your sibling endure something like this and to stand on this. Now the Christian church will consider this extremely tragic. In the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, this is so honorable. This is so beautiful. This is beautiful. You don't understand how beautiful this is and how moving this story is, because you've been raised in the Christian church where no one would do this. You would be selfish and you would sell out the Most High. You would gobble up that bacon. You would gobble up that bacon and you would say thank you for this bacon. You would thank the king for the bacon. This brother said, I will not disobey the Most High. I'll suffer this in front of my family as his family watches. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire.
Listen, they cut his arms and his legs off. The king is ODing. The king is really like torturing this man because he won't eat pork. That's the big deal. He won't eat pork. He won't disobey his God. So you torture him. And in the midst of your torture, he still keeps his oath to the Most High. He still follows the Most High. He still obeys the Most High in front of his family, in front of his mother and his brethren who are watching him. Go ahead.
And to be fried in the pan.
They fried it. They cooked them, man. Your oppressor is a monster. Your oppressor is a disgusting beast that will torture you if you don't worship him. Keep reading.
And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed.
Listen, it says the vapor of the pan was a good space dispersed. You know what that means? Anybody online know what that means? The vapor of the pan was a good space dispersed. Do you know what that means? His family could smell him cooking in those hot pans. Feel that. Feel that. They could smell their brother and their son cooking in the pan because he committed to the Most High and would not cower to a king that demanded that he disobey the Most High. How's your pastor? What's your pastor on? Huh? What's your pastor on? Your pastor stand like that? Your pastor stand for the Most High like that? Or would your pastor go ahead and gobble up that bacon? You know what I'm saying? Your pastor gobble up that pork chop. Them greens with the damn pork in it. Your pastor gobble it up. Keep reading.
They exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus.
Go ahead. What did they say to each other? They watched their brother just die, just get tortured and cooked. What did they say to each other?
Verse 6. The Lord God looketh upon us.
And
in truth have comfort in us. And Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants.
Listen, they watch their brother and they say, you know what? The Most High sees this. You understand? And we are to be comforted in our brother's service to the Most High. This is supposed to be a glorious, beautiful, like, okay, you killed my brother because he wouldn't disobey the Most High. That's glorious. That's righteous. That's honorable. I couldn't be more proud of my brother. Keep reading.
Verse 7. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock.
So they just killed one of the 7 brothers, and now they say, okay, we'll grab another one. Grab number 2. Keep reading.
And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair.
They did what?
They pulled off the skin with the head. They pulled off the skin of his head with the hair.
They pulled off the skin of his head with his hair. The Native Americans know all too well what this process is called. Anybody online know what this process is called? Where they pull off the skin of your head with your hair? Huh? Absolutely. That's called scalping. That's a practice that was exercised by the colonizer on the Native Americans. That scalping nonsense. Huh? Keep reading.
They asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body?
They said, all right, you just saw what we did with your brother. Are you going to eat the pork? Or are you going to go and get yourself punished the way your brother got punished? What did he say? Surely your pastor would stand and say, kill me like my brother. Unalive me like my brother. Or would your pastor say, all right, give me the ham sandwich. Huh? Pass that ham over here. I'll eat the damn ham. No need for the scalping. No need for the cutting, the dismemberment. No need for the cooking. I'll eat the damn ham. And there is no law. The law's done away with. Keep reading.
But he answered in his own language.
Ooh, he spoke Hebrew. You understand that? He spoke Hebrew. Read.
And said, La'ah.
La'ah. He said, no. La'ah. Keep reading.
Wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did.
So they did the same thing to this brother. You understand? He said, no, hell no. You did my brother like that? Now you offer me a plea? No, I'll take what my brother got. And they said, oh, yeah? And they gave him what his brother got. That's number 2 of 7. Keep reading.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said,
do you understand what last gasp was? You understand what last gasp is? Last gasp. He's like his last breath. What did he say with his last breath? Read.
Thou, like a fury, takest us out of this present life.
You're taking us out of this present life. Like, all right, King, you unalived this body. Read.
But the King of the world shall raise us up.
Say what?
But the King of the world shall raise us up.
Don't you know the Most High gonna raise us up? Huh? Don't you know we'll be back? The Most High will honor this commitment. The Most High will bring us back. This is small fries. Obeying the law, the Most High, is big fries. You trying to take our lives because we won't disobey him is such a minuscule thing. And what is your pastor afraid of? What is it that your pastor won't stomach? Huh? What is it that he won't tolerate? What is it that he's been threatened with to teach the Lord's chosen people to obey him? What has he been threatened with? What? Huh? and he compromises. He yields. He submits. Keep reading.
Who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock.
Listen, I'm going to cut to the... All right. Every single brother was given an opportunity to watch their previous brethren die, Salakia, be unalived, right? Because they refused to eat pork. And what does your pastor do? He says the law is done away with. It's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man. It's what comes out. So eat the damn pork. Your pastor was much more courageous than these 7 brothers. Long story short, these 7 brothers, one by one, were unalived because each and every one of them stood on the business of the Most High. Lastly, the mother, who had to watch every last one of her 7 sons be tortured and unalived and neglect to yield to the king's order to disobey the Most High. She was unalived as well. Even she wouldn't eat a damn bite of pork and disobey the Most High, even if it cost her her life. Now you tell me how your pastor can turn around and teach you any of the Maccabees at all. He can't. Your pastor would have yielded in 1 Maccabees chapter 1. Let us make a covenant with the heathens and be just like them, and we all live. When the Lord ain't looking for that freaking sellout, the Lord ain't looking for that type of weakness. The Lord honors the courage that you saw from Mattathias and his sons. You understand? Who rejected the silver and the gold. The Lord is looking for the courage that was exhibited by this sister and her 7 sons, who said, I'd rather be unalived than to eat a bite, one damn piece of a slice of bacon, one damn bite of a pork chop sandwich, one damn chitterling. How can your pastor teach this when he freaking hates the law? He has dismissed the law without prejudice. He has said that the law is irrelevant. Your pastor can't teach Maccabees, which is why we remain in captivity. We require the courage that is exhibited in 1st and 2nd Maccabees in order to serve the Most High and to get out of this captivity. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, if you truly desire to get out of the hell that you are in, it is imperative that we serve the Most High and reject the traditions and the customs and the culture of the oppressor and the wicked rulership of this land. It's just simple. And we have to be willing to give our lives to do it. That's what the Most High requires. If you want to learn how to build up that courage, if you want to learn what the Lord truly expects of you, you got to go to ISUPK.com and contact the ISUPK camp nearest you. We are entirely global. I pray y'all understand. Europe, South America, you know what I'm saying? Canada, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all over the place. You have to get in touch with the school nearest you. Learn about who you are and what the Most High truly requires. Because it ain't cowardice. It ain't compromise. It's not assimilation. It's separation. You understand? And with that, I want to say Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah Baraka Thumb to the Akyam. Yahweh Shemar Alathan Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah to the Akwathium. Shalom, Israel.